What's happening, everyone? These comments already. I am Max, and welcome to the show. Today, you know, I was thinking being RH Maxi with his ideals and then his products, of course, kind of go from there. His ideals are super set, and then his products. I thought I should do some more Maxi stuff. I've been pretty light on talking about Richard as far as like doing streams or stuff on him or doing. I don't know. I just don't want to bring too much of a Maxi vibe to things, but I want to keep my principles intact. It's that kind of thing. So I was thinking last night I should do a Richard Hart AMA, and then I said, okay, I'll do Richard Hart AMA, and then I was thinking, oh, I wonder if people think that I'm like interviewing. Richard's going to come on my show somehow, and I'm going to like interview him, and it's going to be an AMA. I hope that you didn't think that, because that would be quite a curveball in my life too. I would not think he would want to come on and do that. But anyways, it's an AMA about Richard Hart stuff. So ask me anything about Richard Hart. We'll be going through his website, Hex website, PulseChain website, his tweets. We talked about the Godwell. I reached out on Twitter earlier. Some of you saw that, and I asked if anyone has information. I'm not doing an investigation or anything. I don't want to like sound weird about it, but I just want to. I keep hearing things about Godwell, all the good things he does. I know the benevolence, but I kind of just hear it in bits and pieces. So I just wanted to talk to someone who maybe done a lot of tracking of a lot of the moves that he's done that's been good for the community, or just has a lot of history and nuance around it. So that's why I asked for that information. And I got a message from, I forget his name, Hex Bro, something like that. If you're listening, I'm sorry for butchering your name. I just don't have my Twitter up right now. But I got a message about Fatty, and I've seen the Fatty screenshot being able to mark wallets and let us go through and see data for different famous wallets, famous with PH wallets too. So yeah, I want to talk about the Godwell and look at some of the wallet stuff that we're able to see publicly on it. And again, just keep it AMA. What do you guys want to know? Why is Richard spending all my sacrifice money? Like, you can ask that question, ask it. I will answer it. Why? I'll pull up the screen too, so I can talk through some of the talking. But I'll talk to chat just for a second. In just a second, my bad. So again, following Richard for 6 years, I'm convinced that if you doubt him, you're just uninformed. You just got to do some more research. There's hundreds of hours, maybe even thousands hours of streams and so much community content and commentary that it's great. Richard, I'm sure we'll get to it, but he's in it for glory, and we can unpack that if you want to. Just let me know. Say hi to the chat real quick. Trying to say Rich will be here in the flesh. Yeah, invite him if you'd like to. Invite him. I'd love to have him on the show. But no, this is a Richard Hart AMA, as in ask me anything about Richard Hart. So I guess to the top one. PulseChain now live? That would be news to me. I don't think so. On the thumbnail, I think I put 4 more weeks or something. Just that. Maybe I should put it in quotes. Yeah, I definitely don't want to mislead anyone that I know anything about PulseChain launch, which I absolutely do not. But 4 more weeks, 2 more weeks, 2 more months. I can hear Richard in my head now going, best guess, 3 months, or best guess 2 months, all that stuff. So that'll be appropriate to put that on the thumbnail. Get your question ready, boys. I don't know if we're talking about anything that good, but it will be. If you're RHMax out there, you'll probably enjoy some of the commentary. I hope. So I'm going to launch. Testnet. I was talking to DCC a couple of days ago, and he says Valentine's Day. Dollar Cost Crypto wants it on Valentine's Day, so I hope that we get on Valentine's Day. Take it. Maybe that was to the lotion comment. I'm not sure. Bring it. Randy from Georgia. Welcome. Are you rich? Good question. I'm not poor. And interestingly enough, throughout the years, I think a lot of people oscillate from broke to not rich, not wealthy. What's a good way to explain this? I think your wealth and assets fluctuate throughout the markets and stuff too. So I don't think I'm the only one who, in a bear market, you see your paper gains go down, and in a bull market, you're like, I think I might retire soon, that kind of thing. So obviously I don't talk about my finances or bags. I literally don't tell people, how much checks I have and stuff like that, but I'm not poor. But I don't own an island yet, or else I would be there instead of live streaming, right? I don't know. Cabana live streams from an island all the time, doesn't he? So that could be cool. If you had to go all in on one crypto next bull hex payoffs, I don't think you can lose on those really. They're kind of Maddie at the conference did a poll on what are you most bullish on, hex, PLS, or PLSX, and it was split like 33%. I get it. Some people want to say, oh, X don't have the gains anymore, but the OG Hexkins, they know what's up. They know Hex is not dead. Welcome, Pulse Bezos. Nice name. Welcome. Is $100 a week enough to DCA to retire next bull? Well, so $100 a week, $400 a month. Is that 4 times 12, $4,800 in the next year? I don't know. That seems a little low to retire. I mean, so what are you retiring from? What are your cost of living expenses? You got to calculate that too. I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of people who could make a case that you could take $4,800 and turn it into, 48,000, 480,000, all those 10Xs and 100X stuff. But it's better than being a no coiner and waking up in the middle of the bull run and trying to invest. I guess I'll say that. So just make sure you're not getting eat up in gas fees, and I don't know, the yield opportunities right now. You're going to get T-shares a lot more than you used to be able to get. Icosa is seeded with all kinds of yield in the first year or so. Hedron staking, you got a lot of great opportunities in this ecosystem to this year build up your bag. Maybe it's through DCA, maybe it's through staking, a combination of those two, and just win. And everyone, I think it's a fair question to say, oh, well, why doesn't everyone just do this every time? One, I think they sell most of their crypto before the next thing comes because they're just tired of waiting and all that stuff. And two, I think that a lot of them, you just traded away trying to chase the quick money. So every person who bought Litecoin, for example, at $3 had a chance to sell it at 300. And nobody who bought Litecoin at $3 ever thought it was going to 300, but it did. I mean, what's the difference here? Like, that was a product that, a lot of people don't even pay attention to anymore. And yet we have Hex with the Vibrant community, PulseChain launching, products that are designed to appreciate by Richard Hart. Like, what better plan? Like, show me the better plan to get your X's. I don't get it. Tony Bombani, how do I sacrifice the PulseChain? Well, sorry to tell you, Tony, you are quite a bit late on that. About a year and a half late for the sac phase to get any kind of good rate, at least. So when it goes live, which we hope is this year sometime, then you have to get off the market or find a friend who has it and wants to send you some. Maybe there'll be some faucets. That'd be cool. I could see that. There'd be some Pulse wallets, and maybe I keep saying wallets, some Pulse faucets that you'll be able to pull some down from. By the way, matching cup and shirt today. I think it's the first time that's happened. I was like, got out the PulseX cup for a while. No, I haven't worn the PulseX shirt for a while. Here we go. Did your life dramatically change after Hex? After Hex. I would say after Richard Hart, it started to change. And I really a lot of his stuff started sinking in. I'll just flip over to richardhart.com while we're talking about this. I just started to, these are great questions, by the way. Thank you, Westcott. I started to soak in his information probably a year or so. And when he called the top, that's when, I guess it'd been about a year at that point. I didn't know him quite as well enough at that point when he called the top in 2017. So I was kind of thinking, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And then he just kept streaming and he kept talking. And then he came up with, CFD token and then Hex. And then it was all Hex for like a year and a half after that. So did it dramatically change after Hex? I think it started to change a couple years after I started following Richard. And then, but I was already on this path too. Like I wanted to get good at finances. I wanted to be ready to create wealth. I wanted to know what to do once I had it. So I've been on this wealth, health, wisdom journey, I call it, for the last few years. And it was just perfect timing when I came across Richard, new to crypto. And I would say about 2 or 3 years after that, I started really getting serious about it. And I would say, did my life dramatically change? Yeah, it did. In combination with Richard, Naval Ravikant is another famous person I follow a lot and consume all of his information, all of his books, all of his content. Alex Hormozy, I've been talking about him a lot lately. I just found him a few months ago, and I'm like, wow, this is another person who can teach me so much about personal brand and marketing, and really just getting past that. Oh, it won't work. I can't do this. All that stuff. So three most influential people in my life for the past few years that have drastically changed my life and my trajectory, I believe, made me actually. So you can be smart, but there's Naval Ravikant quote, intelligence. Oh, how's it go? Basically, you're intelligent if you get what you want out of life. So you can be smart. There's all kinds of smart people out there that, they just stay smart and they think they're smart and they do smart people things. And then they just, work till they're 65 and have a lot of regrets throughout life. Not that those two things are correlated, but those are just examples. And then there's intelligent people who see something, they want it, they're ambitious, they go for it. They get past all the FUD, they get past all the people, all the situations. There's no victim mentality. They get through it. And then they get whatever it is. It can be riches. It can be, intelligence. It could be just providing for your family. Whatever it is, if you get that, if you get what you want out of life, you are intelligent. I think that's the best test that I've heard. What is a list of your top 5 to 7 token you plan to have on PulseChain? Again, I don't really talk about my bags that much, but I'll tell you the projects that I like that are launching on PulseChain and will be on PulseChain, my top 5 to 7. So Hedron, Maxi, getting copied over. Fantastic projects, fantastic creators. And then we'll go to famous.io or fatty.io. We'll go to the fiat ecosystem stuff a little bit later. I like what they're building over there. I think they're building a lot of cool products. I've had them on the show a couple of times talking about it. And then liquid loans, of course, is one that a lot of people are excited about because, you don't have to sell your Pulse. You could take loans on it and all the benefits that come with that, or may come with that. Not a financial advisor, not a tax advisor, but seems to be a lot of benefits that you can get within that system. Well, Mintra seems good, although there's a lot of competition with NFT marketplaces, but Mintra seems to be, I guess, going to provide some value, and we need something like that on PulseChain. And then, let's see, I'm trying to think. I'm interested to see how the meme coins do. All the meme coins that you've heard of and could think of. I wonder which ones shake out on the top when they get on PulseChain. What else? Those are probably a few that I think have the best chance of succeeding on PulseChain because they either solve a problem, they have a positive price performance with Hex, they are some derivative of Hex themselves, or they bring in some sort of community that will thrive on a cheaper, faster price performant network like PulseChain. What's the best way to introduce a 6 and 7-year-old to Python? I've been on a ChatGPT kick today, and I almost did the stream today, and I said, no, let me do the Richard Hart stream today because I had it on my mind first. But I've been playing with ChatGPT a lot lately, and honestly, I think I will start recommending that as a way to be a coding buddy to help people learn to code in different languages, for example, Python. So I think ChatGPT, sign up, get an account, come to my stream tomorrow. I may do a stream tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific. And I'll go through a bunch of different ways to use ChatGPT. And for 6 or 7-year-old, I would start with some sort of really basic book that talks about it to learn the concepts. You don't have to get fancy, just like how code works, how to talk to a computer, how to make this magic happen. Because there's a lot of advanced topics like objects and, just a lot of things that they're just not going to grasp that young, that you really need to be almost a teenager to like fully wrap your head around, I would think, unless they're extremely high IQ. Even 6 or 7, that's pretty young. So I would start off with a book, video series, and then maybe, let them write some code for a few weeks, a few months, and then maybe ChatGPT could be a good coding buddy. Just let them ask it, sit them down, let them ask it questions. Part of me thinks you don't want to spoil them with that either, because you want them to be able to think and learn on their own. But if they're going to be Googling and they're going to be using Stack Overflow, then ChatGPT is just going to be a very optimized version of that. Maybe you don't allow them to ask it to write code for you. Maybe you only allow them to ask it questions about what the bug in their code is, because figuring out errors and stuff, especially in very basic code, can be hard when you don't have a lot of error checking or explanatory stuff. So yeah, I would say video series, letting them do a lot on their own, and then maybe giving them a coding buddy if that's not a real person, like some other 6, 7-year-old in their life, one of their friends that wants to learn this stuff too. That could be cool. If you don't have that around, maybe ChatGPT. That could be. I need to think more about it and see how it shakes out, but it's changing the world. Don, Crypto the Elite. Yeah, he's rich. A broke person doesn't think about it. I'm trying to get the best out of these comments like that. I would say that a person who thinks and wants to give you a good answer takes their time. I guess if you're a decamillionaire or a billionaire or Richard, you would just immediately say yes and start talking about your stuff. But I don't know. I don't think you're quite on point on that one. So I think there's plenty of not broke people who, when they're live streaming, they want to give you a good answer, but they don't want to talk about everything. Richard is legit inspiration. Yes, he is. He is a force for good in the world. That's true. I think it's a good question, man. Keep them coming. What's up, Hex Hoddle? Good to see you. Is RH joining? I don't know. Send him a link. Send him a link to the live stream. If he pops on, I will send him a StreamYard. 100,000%. I'll make that my one priority today to help Richard get on if he's actually interested. Welcome, Crypto Truth. Good to see you. You think e-fiat with 10x day one? I have no idea. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Broadly speaking, you can say that you need to go through a crypto cycle first. That's to learn from all the mistakes, see all the possibilities, and crypto. Yeah, I think you're either. That's a good statement. I think that's. I've thought about this a lot too. Like, why isn't everyone rich? Like, why, if we know what to do, why every time there's so many people who are still trying to get rich? They're not rich yet. Why does that keep happening? And I think you really, unless you just have that innate ability to hang on, your number one goal when you come into the ecosystem is you have a plan for 2, 3, 4, 5 years instead of 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, that type of thing. And you get in the right condition, like you recognize it's a good time to get in. You don't buy the top and have to wait and not be able to maximize your gains. Obviously, buying at a lower price gives you more gains than buying at a higher price. If you buy at a higher price, you have to wait longer. Everything that goes with that. So I think you do have to. What is that? There's another Naval quote that's like, your real resume is all the scars you have from all the decisions you've had to make or mistakes you've made. That's your real resume. So your resume, if you haven't been through a bear cycle in crypto before, your resume is not going to be very thick with experiences and knowing and being able to recognize, being sensitive to good opportunities and being sensitive to how to wreck yourself. Sometimes you need a cycle, some people don't. So you could say that I would say there's plenty of people who got into Hex day one, made a lot of money, and it was their first crypto bear market. Now, who knows the God will even. Maybe I think I read some of his tweets before, and he was just like, he's like, yeah, I'm just a regular guy who, happened to come across Hex and that kind of thing. So diamond hands is usually an acquired trait, and you got to have some pain before you have that kind of gain. Some people are just naturals, though. What do you think the next all-time high is? I assume you're talking about Hex. I don't know. It seems like $1 was all full salt after last time. So next bull run, top of next bull run for X. Man, it'd be nice to see $1. I mean, that's not too crazy what you're saying there. It's not absurd. You would think Hex could reach $1 or $2. Who's your man? You came prepared with questions today, Westcott. I love it. These are great questions. Who's your go-to streamer in the Hex community? Who's my go-to streamer? I must not know it because I have to think about it, right? I'm just kidding. I mean, one of the first that comes to my mind is, I like Coffee. I like a lot of his videos. I like what he's done for the community. He has a lot of great onboarding videos. So does Hodl Dog, for example. I don't know. Who do I go to? Like, I'm trying to think if I could frame it. Who do I go to for the best information when I need to know something? I need to know a video. I guess it depends on what I'm searching for. If I'm looking for Hedron stuff, it'd be like cryptographics, Sloth, Blue Bum, people who, Blue Bum's not really a streamer, but he gets on other people's streams. And then I would look at Dev Huey's stuff. He's built a lot of nice dashboards. If I'm looking for Hex stuff, I don't know. There's so many. Like, it'd be harder to think of who I wouldn't trust to talk about Hex, because I think a lot of streamers, there's so many knowledgeable streamers that I don't have a problem like listening to them. And I think there are very few times I've came across streamers that have just said things that are just wrong, obviously wrong about Hex, or just could not give me some kind of tidbit when they actually want to talk about it. Usually if they're talking about Hex, they know how to talk about it. So, I don't know. If you want to look at Scivive, Wild SJ. Who's my go-to streamer? There's a lot of good streamers out there. I should look at my subs, who I'm sub to, and I could just scroll through and tell you a bunch, but a lot of good ones out there. Randy is super interesting. Randy Larsky. I like hearing him talk about stuff. He's one of my favorite people. One of my favorite Hex entertainers, I'll say that. Hey, obviously he says a lot of good information too, but just, I don't know, like when I'm watching Randy on stream, or if I'm out at a local meetup and Randy happened to be streaming, it happens all the time somehow, and we get on stream and we talk to him. It's a good experience. I like Randy. Got a lot of questions today. I'm going to flip through. I'm just going to keep it like this, just so basically just changing my background, talking questions right now. What are your thoughts on being your own validator in PulseChain? What is the most promising Web3 coding I should learn? Okay, first question. What are thoughts on being your own validator in PulseChain? Well, I guess if you want to make fees and stuff, my thoughts, we don't know a lot of information released yet. Richard said, the devs are working on some setup scripts and stuff to make things easy to deploy. I am excited about Alex from Hedron asking people on Twitter if they'd be interested in your own hardware, maybe a hardware device to make it easy to be a validator. I would definitely be interested in that. That would be cool. If I could just buy something, of course, I know I set up everything up on my own too, but if I could just buy something and plug it in and do a simple web UI, like it's plugging in your router, I'd be very interested in that. So I think this extra time is you're going to see other products and other support and experiences can be probably even better than it was before. That's another silver lining of more time equals more time to improve stuff and make it even a better experience for validators and anyone who wants to participate in the network. being your own validator, I don't know. I guess if it was easy, I didn't plan on going out of my way to set all the hardware up or do the cloud hosting and do that for it. I hadn't really thought about doing it that much, just to play with it, maybe do a tutorial, but I didn't think about doing it long term. But if I can just buy a device and plug it in, man, I think I might plug it in. Second one, what's the most promising Web3 coding tutorial? I've never did a Web3 coding tutorial, have I? I might have did one, searched for one before. I like my blog. My blog teaches a lot of stuff, honestly. I'll just throw it up there in case you are interested. I did a whole series on how to create on smart contracts. So I threw it here. You probably already know about this Crypto Truth because you've been here for a while, but in case other people are interested, I go through and talk about what are smart contracts, how do you write one, how do they work, how to deploy them, do a hello world program. It really is magic. Coding is magic. I'll say that. It's pretty cool. And then I go through how to create your own token. I went on testnet on Ethereum and I made a token. Super easy. I did it all online. Deployed on testnet. It was called what I call it, Hart token or something, HRC. That's what I call it. Yeah, Hartcoin. I deployed Hartcoin, and I had a billion coins in honor of our favorite billionaire, exactly, Richard Hartwin. And I deployed on testnet, and I even did liquidity providing for it. I figured out, I just played with liquidity providing on Uniswap, and I tell you exactly how to do all this stuff right here. So that's how to make a smart contract, how to create an ERC20 token, and then for Web3, I did this blog, which is my latest blog, where I literally used Anvil and Fura, did all this stuff to talk to the Hex contract. I'll walk you through exactly how to do it in Python. I was able to pull down and create an app called Get Hex Stats, and just a console app to pull down Hex Stats. And then I used Anvil to put it on the website. And let's see if I can show you the website. It's still up. I still have the website up, yeah, right here. And if you go to gethexstats.anvil, it is running Python code in the background and pulling down the latest stats. So 8 decimal places, total supply of hex, the current share rate, and the current price, all that stuff. Talks to the blockchain, talks to Dex Screener. Beautiful, works. And all of it is open source. Go to the GitHub repo, and you can look at the code. You can look exactly how I did it. Yeah. So that is that part. What are your thoughts on delegating and PulseChain and PulseX staking? I don't know if delegation, there's been some changes in the, where we went to POS and stuff. I'm not sure how that's going to work, if Richard's going to build some custom stuff or if it's not going to exist and PulseChain is going to be inflationary. I think don't quote me on that, but I believe with the current changes, people are thinking it's going to, instead of being deflationary, it's going to be inflationary. So there'll be Hex and PulseChain inflationary and PulseX deflationary. Is that bullish for PulseX? I don't know. Again, take that with a grain of salt. That's just what I've been hearing because we don't have a lot of official information, but it's hard to say. Staking Hex on PulseChain, well, it's gonna be a lot cheaper, and you just get me excited to see I'm so excited to see the network launch, and right before it, the ratio trading on the bridge, and just having PHEX, like that's going to be a dream just to have PHEX and be able to play with it. So your Hex experience is going to be great again, and you're going to have all your other tokens to play with too. There you go. No delegating this BSC chain. You'll be able to run a node. So run a node and earn fees. That's what I was thinking. But again, none of this is official. It could change. Rich could be like, yeah, we're going to do a delegation thing. We're just going to build our own delegation into it. He knows how to pump the price. He knows how to design these things. Of course, Richard Hart is joining. He says, well, that's an English thing, right? So Richard Hart AMA, is that, for me, literally, I'm being honest with you, when I first thought of it, I thought, yeah, that's just ask me questions about Richard Hart. And then later on, I thought, I wonder if people would read it as, I have Richard Hart here, ask him questions. I don't, if you know the channel, I don't think Richard's coming on, even though I'm sure he likes his RHMaxes. He has never told me he's joined before. So it's not clickbait. At least I didn't intend for it to be clickbait. I'll say that. I didn't intend for it originally to be clickbait. I don't do that stuff, but if it turned out to be, then my original intentions. I'll say that. So do you think it's good to create your own validator? Well, if you have 32 million, that's what the last Richard said, I believe, 32 million Pulse. I don't know how much that'll be. And the number could change. Again, nothing's official. I think it's good to create your own validator. Hopefully, you'll just be able to buy a device and plug it in, and it does validation to really decentralized PulseChain too. Do you like earning fees? If you like earning fees and you're okay paying for electricity, especially if you got cheap electricity. Again, it's hard to comment on these things because it's so soon. We don't know all the details. Things I hesitate to really think too hard about it because the data's not there. We don't know what the number's going to be yet. But when we do, then we can do some crunching. Let's see. I was all in Hex day one, but new to crypto. Went all in post. Wow, you've been around for a while, man. Congrats on finding Hex that early, being new to it, and knowing, seeing a product that you liked and getting through all the FUD. Congrats on that, Tony. And then I'm with you. Hex, I was like, Richard's first product. Doesn't have any track record. Is it going to succeed? I don't know. Obviously, I would say 99% of early Hexkins did not put as much money as they thought they or they would had they known what they know now. That's just part of the game. But I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with the position. Not poor. Not poor. Not poor. If I was rich, I ought to tell everyone about it. If you're rich, you tell people about it. I don't know what benefit is there to you. I'm not in it for status. Should monetize the channel, shouldn't I? I should do silly things and make crazy videos. I'm here for you and to promote Hex and RH. Look at questions. Do you think flash loans should be implemented by X off kit? How would you do flash loans in? I don't know. Maybe give me a situation where, I don't know. I need more context for that. Flash loans for Maximus or flash loans for Hedron. I don't know. It could be another product. I need to wrap my head around how the different buttons that would be on that and how that would be useful to offset high gas fees. I mean, Maximus already helps with the high gas fees with unstaking 15 years. You talk about, how would this help for the high gas fees? You have to give me some more context on that. Yep. They are doing dev stuff, as Richard says. So hopefully it'll be super easy. Do you get more ICOSA as a stake matures? As a hex stake matures? If it's hex stake, then are you talking about HSI? Oh, HSI stake. Do you get more ICOSA as a stake matures? You can mint more Hedron from it. Can you cash it in for more ICOSA? That's a good question. As it matures, I don't think it's a function of that. I don't think so. I'm not saying that doesn't affect it, but I don't think that's like the formula for it. Best server for crypto is 100% upgraded Mac. Yeah, dude, I love Max. Hey, do you ever want to be immune to 99% of the viruses on the internet? Get a Mac. What's up, Sweaty? Around how many stakers do you think Hex will have when it reaches all-time high again? I was saying when PulseChain launches, I think the community will double, whether we see that in the number of holders for Hex or otherwise, or number of stakes that come out. I think Hex has, man. I think definitely price go up is a great onboarding tool that we don't have right now, obviously. But I would say 50% more. At least 50% more stakers by the time it reaches all-time high. That depends on a lot of factors. Does it reach all-time high? If we have a mini bull run this year, does it reach all-time high? And people are just caught off guard because they're not in crypto right now. They took a break because of the bear market. Or does it reach all-time high in 2024, 2025, where we may be in a bull run and a lot more people are in? Does the community double? Hard to say, but I would say at least 50% by the time it reaches all-time high again. Just a guess. What's up, Alien Hexagon? Welcome to the channel. Appreciate that. If you want to look at the Hex conference content, I spent a lot of time this past weekend clipping a lot of it and releasing it. So just search for RHMax Hex Conference 2023, or just look at the channel and all the latest videos. There's like gotta be 10, 15 videos, clips of Richard talking, me talking at the conference, other people asking questions. A lot about PulseChain, mostly about, funny enough, most of it was about PulseChain. Ratio trading, yeah. Hopefully there'll be a minimum number of people getting wrecked, but that's probably the most exciting thing coming up, I would say, is the ability to actually touch it, actually touch your PX, actually touch your Pulse and all that stuff before it has a price, and just ratios. Am I the only one that noticed Pulse Net, that's Pulse Testnet V3 pick we saw was only 35 pulse per ballot? You know what? I'm going to bring that up. I don't know. That was a good movie, The Gray Man. Kind of ended, because there'll be a second one, but recommend it. Yeah, looks up Ben. Ben getting retweeted by Richard because he's saying and posting good stuff. Yeah, there's some guy who makes these videos too that's really good. They're super engaging. Let's see. Scrolling. Hey, Gary Gensler. Be nice to us. Let's see. There we go. So, and you said PulseNet V3 picks, there's only 35 pulse per validator. I'm not seeing the number 35 anywhere. 35 pulse per. Are you running the numbers on something that you see here? Because I'm just seeing total validators 256 per pulse per. I don't see anything that says pulse per validator. Could be overlooking it. Let me know though, Hexbear. I don't know, man. I don't think RH has ever went on anyone's channel except Hexologist one time in the last year or two. So I appreciate that you think that he would come on my channel. Appreciate that. But again, the original intention wasn't to mislead anyone. I just want to talk about Richard. 100,000. Is that a million? Million stakers will be a beast. I thought it'd be questions. You good, man? Either way. Man, a million stakers. You got me excited. I like that. Million stakers. Close to putting 0.4 BTC at the bottom instead of put an ETH in. Still the craziest RI by nose. It happens. Everybody, again, you don't need to be perfect. You just need not to wreck yourself. So don't worry about it. Hex price at news off testnet. Hex price 2 days before PulseChain. Yeah. I mean, I try not to give predictions because I'm just a guy on the internet, you know, but big. I would expect, I think I'll say it like this, you know, I try to frame it like this. I think lots of people expect a run up a test net. I don't know why there wouldn't be lots of dry powder on the side. Lots of people stake too. Hex price 2 days before PulseChain, 2 days after that. I don't know that. I'm just going to put that in the too hard bucket. Sorry, that's just too hard to even think about. I don't even think about it, so I don't have a good answer for you, and I don't want to like speculate because it's just pure speculation. But I'll say this: that I'll frame your question as: do you think the hex price can perform well around PulseChain launch and testnet launch? I think so. I think everyone thinks so. So I think I'm in that probably not wrong bucket, unless everyone's probably wrong. So I think so. I think it will perform better than it has been, which is, you know, understandably so, you know, like everything else. Fall from RH, congrats, man. Congrats. Yeah, he likes Scivivers, he likes RHMaxes. So if you want to get a follow from RH, be one of those. I just did 30 Scivive quotes today. 30. And I'm going to send them to SJ soon so she can pump them. So if you want to do quotes, all you got to do is like do a selfie video of you reading RH stuff. She already has all the quotes in the doc that you can pick from and pick your favorite one. Reach out to @awildsj. I did 30 today to help her out and make sure we have Scivive quotes every day for 369 days. It's a lot of days. Yeah, man. It's awesome. Xbear, Hiri, bro. It took a listen. Yeah. What will be the total amount of PLSX tokens at launch? I don't know that off the top of my head. Isn't there a sacrifice checker that like has all these numbers somewhere? Probably is. Yeah, I'm not sure. Top of my head. It will be, what is it like? We're expecting trillions for PulseChain and PulseX to start at. I wonder if PulseChain, unless again, whether it's deflationary or inflationary, we're just going to have to decide. But if it's inflationary instead of deflationary now, I mean, it still could have some burning. I would think they should. Yeah, I don't. Again, speculating on stuff that we don't have all the information on. I wonder if it was going to be inflationary, which it may or may not be. If we had lowered the supply instead of doing a million X, I don't know. A million X just sounds good though. So, whereas, you know, I have that background. I probably should have used the RH background today, shouldn't I? Because it doesn't have the glowing bag, but it's got the airplane and the dog or something, I think. Thank you, BTFT. Appreciate you. I want to go live today. And I'll probably go live twice tomorrow. I have a stream with Million to the Moon. Should be really good in the afternoon. And I may do the chat GPT thing in the morning if I have time. But yeah, today I was like, I need to go live. We'll talk about RH and stuff. Yeah, could be net deflationary. Once we have all the data, we can make some conclusions. But I think everyone hopes it's deflationary because that's what we're looking forward to. That's what the fundamentals were around that. But if it's not, we know Richard. He'll make it. He designs these things with the best fundamentals. So he will make it good, whether it's inflationary, deflationary, however it depends, or however it works out. So I'm going to wrap up in a little bit. Appreciate all y'all's questions. A lot of great questions today. But I wanted to talk about, this is the link I got earlier from, I think his name's like Bro Hexkin or something like that. Shout out to him. And he was telling me, and I've seen this before too on Fatty. This is the fiat ecosystem. Fiat ecosystem. They have like Fatty and Famous and Fiat, I believe. And this is, like, you can see different wallet data. And if you go to this URL, then you can look at, let me post it here. Then, for example, you can look at Godwell. And you can see that these people have marked these wallets as being the Godwell. Shout out to Godwell. You're awesome. Cannot say that enough. We need to thank Godwell as many times as we can, because he has been very much a benevolent well in the Hex ecosystem. And we can look at, wow, $8 million ICOSA, 24 billion in Hex, 24 bill. Amazing. And on PLS, 23 bill. I'm not sure if any of these are like really correct numbers, because maybe some of them are, based on certain assumptions, but you got it. Regardless, Godwell, that's his name, Godwell. And I would like to get someone who knows a lot of the history and the nuance to come on the show and talk about Godwell and kind of introduce this to us and really get the full story of what the community knows, because I just know that he's awesome. And we can see some of the stuff he has here. He has stakes, very, very large stakes going on. Lots of T-shares. Look at that, 2,600 days, 5,000 days. This guy stakes a ton of Hex for a long time, earning lots and lots of yield, and no planning on dumping anyone anytime soon. That's why we love Godwell. Is this one that he forgot to do good accounting on? -2 days, or he didn't end or do good accounting on. Opportunity to do good accounting. If anyone's interested, it seems like it's -2 days over. 110 days. Yeah, somebody was talking about he's got one coming up in 3. Was that Crypto Kindness was saying he's got one coming up? Or maybe no, that he was talking about a different. He wasn't talking about Godwell. He's talking about another Hex well that has some coming up. Great. So good. Lots of good information here. Can I click on it? Go to ICOSA. Okay. Stake points. Okay, so he's staking. Yeah, Hedron. Looks like amazing. I love this portal too. Really cool. Love these read-only. Yeah, this is the read-only wallet, I believe. That's what Dylan from the Fiat project was talking about. So you can look at Godwell. You can look at, let's see, PulseChain, the PulseChain sacrifice wallet, I imagine. Or looks pretty small. Or maybe one of them. Fiat sacrifice, PulseX. That looks more like it. That looks more like it. Yeah, such good data. And a bunch of other sacrifices and stuff going on. How much did Mintra get? It was like 10, 15 million, I thought. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to read some of these numbers either, but regardless, very cool. Very cool information we got. And I was just going to the PulseChain website. Testnet is live. This is Testnet V2, of course. Bridging. Yeah, lots of good information here. Anyway, I'll get back to Richard. Anybody got any Richard questions before we wrap up here? Let's see, good information out there, super important. Yeah, he is a genius billionaire guy, right? And if you're looking for somebody in crypto to follow, wouldn't you want to follow the genius billionaire? I know I would. World's largest diamond. Definitely not his hand, I wouldn't think. Yeah, I mean, I think I've heard every kind of criticism of Richard possible, and a lot of it just doesn't matter. Does he always say the right thing? No. Is he humble when he wants to be? Usually not. but it's a purpose. If you don't understand something about Richard, if you believe that he's rich, genius founder, then maybe there's something you're missing, right? Maybe it's a deficiency in how you see him, or you don't know his plan. He has a plan. I mean, even with the sacrifice stuff, I was talking to DCC about this the other day. Yeah, maybe the roadmap changed when, maybe they didn't think Ethereum was going to come so soon. The Ethereum POS was going to launch this year, and that could have been a pivot, just based on information that looks like from the outside. So does he make mistakes? Sure. But overall, it's kind of one of those things you need to see him for what he is and what he does. And if you don't like some of the things he says or stands for, I would just challenge you to think about all the good things he does outside of that. So if you don't like the way that he dresses and buys luxury stuff or whatever it is, I would say, but think about all the people he's helped with the SINS Foundation charity. Think about his mission of longevity research and saving people. I believe there'll be a Hart Foundation one day that'll literally save people's lives. After crypto, he'll actually be saving people's lives by helping them live longer, healthier. Think about the self-help book, Scivive, and Fix the World. I could make a list of all the things that I disagree with Richard about, and I have videos on this too. Search RHMax, Richard Hart disagree, or Richard Hart wrong, or Richard Hart, I forget, different ones. Search Richard Hart and you'll see a bunch of them. And I probably got 1 or 2 more videos coming out, but I talk about things that I don't agree with him on. But even for me, I just think it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you agree with them on everything. You don't need to agree with somebody on everything in order to get and benefit from the things they do and say and people they're helping, and to see the impact they're making in the world. So, of course, there's a line, if he turns out and just starts murdering a bunch of people and, becomes like this really, there's some things that are, hey, okay, now this is I've been following for 6 years, but there's some lines I'm like, all right, man. Again, imaginary warbles, he's not going to cross those lines. Why would he do that? Somebody who's in it for glory, he wants to go down as one of the people who made the biggest impact in the world in a bunch of different verticals. I think he'll go down as one of the best crypto founders, and one creating more wealth for people in crypto than, on par with Vitalik and Satoshi. I think he will go down in that conversation, as long as we keep succeeding. And that's why he wants the community to be so involved. He knows that you see a lot of these other crypto communities, everyone disappears. Bear market, everything's dead. NFT guys, gone. Valuations dropped. Hex valuation dropped, and you still see a lot of people. You see people streaming every day talking about Hex, talking about crypto. So he knows that's a big part of it that helps propel and keep us in the conversation for the best crypto, best DeFi in the world. And all feeds part of his mission. But one of the best crypto founders, he wants to save people with medical research, with longevity research, anti-aging, rejuvenation techniques, perhaps with the Hart Foundation one day. And he just wants to win. And if you think about it, it's such a selfish goal. It really is selfish, but selfish in a good way, because what is the worst thing that can happen if he doesn't achieve everything he wants to do? Less people living longer, less people rich. Like, everything he's doing is good. There's plenty of nice, humble people out there in the world. I don't think he's turning people into a-holes or anything. I don't think that's the impact he's having. You could argue back and forth whether Andrew Tate is having a good or bad example on kids. And I'm sure there's a lot of things you don't want, young people to pick up from him, but there's also a lot of things, a lot of good lessons I'm sure that's came from it too. And helping people keep in the frame of mind of how to be a strong person, whether it be male or female. So what happens if Richard doesn't win? I think that's a lot worse than if he does win. I think if he wins, we live longer, we're richer, no pun intended, and we have a lot of better ideals and good stuff to go do and put out in the world. What's the downside? Oh, PulseChain's taking too long. Zoom out. Not just on the chart, zoom out to him. Zoom out to the man who's doing this stuff. He doesn't care about launching PulseChain on your timeline. He doesn't care about launching PulseChain within a year, apparently. He doesn't care about, it could take 2 years, it could take 3 years. Like that, zoom out. It all goes back to delayed gratification. It goes back to waiting to win. And it goes back to understanding, what he's doing this for. And, does it feel good? No, but losing weight doesn't feel good. Running 10 miles doesn't feel good. Holding your tongue and not attacking people on Twitter may not feel good. But it depends on your time frame. You want to feel good now, or do you want to feel good for years and years? Do you want to try and retire now, or do you want to set up your finances, set up your resources where you're going to be paying yourself for the rest of your life? That's my take on understanding Richard. And what's up, Johnny Chaos? You came at a great time. I was just in my explaining Richard mode. I don't get that very often. Like I said, I wanted to have this stream because I don't feel like I do a lot of RHMaxi stuff. That's my name. I pigeonhole myself into the ecosystem with that name. Oh, look at that shiny object. No, you're RH maximalist. Stay in this ecosystem. It doesn't mean I have to only like Hex and PulseChain and PulseX. I like Hedron. I like Maximus. I like stuff within the ecosystem, but I try to focus on products that either make Hex better or solve a problem that empower the ecosystem that Richard has provided. So I think that's fine. And again, his ideals come into his products, but it's not just about Hex. Literally, if Hex never existed, if Richard would never created Hex 3 years ago, never launched PulseChain, never watched any coin, I would still be watching him today. I'd still be listening to him, doing whatever he'd be doing, debating. I don't know what he'd be doing. He may still be a Bitcoin maxi, debating Ethereum maxis or something. I would still be learning a lot from him. So I'm just grateful that he created something to create all this wealth for me and everyone else. Everyone says things are on ways beyond words or action, genuinely helping people through stances. Yeah, again, just I would challenge everyone to stop asking when PulseChain and start looking and understanding, hey, Richard is the anti-rug puller. There ain't enough money to take out anyways, and he don't need it. He's in it to win. And there's never been a better definition of trickle-down winning than the RH ecosystem. It's true. It's true. Accumulation seems to be, historically speaking, a very good thing to do in bear markets. That's the thing. I'll go back to what I said, half hour ago. Why isn't everyone rich? Why did they get rich from Hex the last market cycle? I don't know. Apparently, whatever they did or didn't do will be corrected this market cycle, because now they have, a couple more years of content to consume and figure out what the right thing to do is. $777. Nice lucky numbers. Changed my life continually. Yeah, he really has. Richard's developing projects right now. Yeah, every time you look at him, he's tired, right? And it's not just about all the hot girls he hangs out with. I'm sure that's part of it. Honestly, I think that's just like an outlet for, he wants to give himself something good to do. And, maybe he likes to eat or not diet as much. So, you see that show up as well. So you can see that he's not, I don't know. I guess I would say that if Richard was ripped and if Richard looked like Alex Ramosi and PulseChain was delayed for 3 years, it would be harder to explain. But you can see that he's putting all his time, effort, blood, sweat, tears, energy into making this thing work. And launch when it's ready. Well, everyone, thanks for joining me on this Sunday. Great conversation. Lots of great questions, too. I really appreciate you all showing up. Again, this was not Richard on the channel, me interviewing him. Hopefully someday that'll happen. That'd be cool. It was just me talking about Richard, answering questions about him, Hex, and just explaining why I believe what I believe about him. And I'm not just some cult follower, cheerleader person, blind, unconditional love type of found this guy, obsessed with him. That's not, if you know me, you watch the streams, you know I'm very much a person who thinks from first principles. I think for myself. And I'm just a fan, and I want this thing to succeed. And I'm going to do my best to help the ecosystem and Richard get through all the FUD and just win. I want to win. I want to win with them. I want to win with you all. So that's why I'm here. I'm not here to make money. I should at this point be famous for not wanting to sell you anything on this channel. I don't monetize. I'm just here to give back and to do my part in the community. And that's what I like to do. So with that, what's up, Orion? Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think if you are into Hex and you understand Richard, your IQ is probably higher than your average crypto person. I'll say that. Maybe even higher than average in real life. Thank you, Sweaty. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Good to see everyone. Again, I may do a stream tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific on ChatGPT and my fascination with it. It is very, very cool. So if you want to come back for that, if I decide to do it, nothing else, I will be streaming with Million to the Moon tomorrow on this channel, 3:30 Pacific. Tune into that if nothing else. And Scivive and 5555, everyone.